The introduction to the Ottoman-Albanian conflict sets the stage for understanding the fierce resistance led by the legendary Albanian figure Skanderbeg against the expansive Ottoman Empire during the 15th century. This conflict is emblematic of the struggle between a small but resolute region and one of history's most formidable empires, highlighting themes of resistance, unity, and cultural identity. The clash not only illustrates Albania's doggedness against overwhelming odds, but also sheds light on the broader dynamics of power, control, and survival in the Balkans during this period. The significance of this point is crucial, as it frames the context of Skanderbeg's defiance. The Albanian resistance was not merely a military struggle, but a fight to preserve cultural and religious autonomy against the tide of Ottoman conquest. This stage of the conflict reflects the resilience that has come to characterize Albanian history and the strategic importance of the Balkans as a bridge between Eastern and Western civilizations. Two pivotal examples highlight this period. Firstly, the Siege of Krujë in 1450, where Skanderbeg and his forces successfully repelled a much larger Ottoman army, cementing his reputation as an exceptional military leader. Secondly, the League of Linger, formed in 1444, was a coalition of Albanian noblemen who united under Skanderbeg's command. This unity was unprecedented and showcased the potential of collective leadership in resisting a dominant force. Support for this idea stems from historians who view the Albanian resistance as a crucial part of European history, influencing and delaying the Ottoman penetration into Western Europe. The century-long struggle provided a buffer that allowed other European states more time to prepare against Ottoman advances. However, challenges to this narrative exist, particularly concerning the impact of Skanderbeg's resistance on subsequent Albanian territories, which eventually fell under Ottoman control. Critics argue that while Skanderbeg's resistance was heroic, it was ultimately a delaying action rather than a path to lasting independence. Some Turkish historians might emphasize the inevitability of Ottoman expansion due to their superior resources and strategic depth. This introduction to the Ottoman-Albanian conflict connects deeply with other aspects of the main topic, providing the foundational backdrop for understanding Skanderbeg's role in the resistance. It influences discussions on military strategy, the socio-political unification of Albania, and the cultural implications of resisting an empire. Understanding this conflict is essential to grasp the full narrative of Albania's prolonged resistance and the enduring legacy of Skanderbeg's leadership in Albanian history. The heading Ottoman Wars, Albania's long resistance under Skanderbeg, introduces the concept of the prolonged struggle of the Albanian people against the Ottoman Empire during the 15th century, led by the legendary figure Gjorgj Kastrioti, known as Skanderbeg. Skanderbeg's resistance is characterized by his defection from the Ottoman army and subsequent efforts to unite Albanian principalities against a common enemy, effectively transforming scattered rival factions into a resilient force that stood its ground for over 2 decades. The significance of this resistance movement lies in its demonstration of a small nation's ability to effectively challenge a vastly superior power, altering the course of the Ottoman expansion into Europe. This period of defiance under Skanderbeg's leadership not only bolstered Albanian national identity, but also garnered international recognition and support, influencing later regional dynamics and European resistance against Ottoman incursions. Two specific examples highlight this resistance. First, the Battle of Torvioll in 1444, where Skanderbeg achieved a decisive victory using superior tactics and the mountainous terrain to his advantage, significantly boosting Albanian morale and credibility. Second, the Siege of Krujë starting in 1450, where Skanderbeg's forces successfully defended against repeated Ottoman sieges, showcasing their tenacity and strategic acumen. Scholars and historians often praise Skanderbeg as a symbol of resistance and resilience. His tactics and leadership are lauded for their brilliance in uniting diverse factions and developing a cohesive defense strategy that thwarted one of history's mightiest empires. However, challenges to this narrative exist, particularly regarding the long-term sustainability of such resistance efforts and their actual impact on the Ottoman Empire's larger military campaigns. Some critiques point to the eventual Ottoman domination of Albania after Skanderbeg's death as evidence of the temporary and limited nature of his successes. There are also alternative views on whether Skanderbeg's motivations were truly nationalistic or driven by personal and familial interests. This resistance movement under Skanderbeg intertwined with broader European conflicts, influencing alliances and perceptions of the Ottoman threat. It affected diplomatic relations, as European powers often viewed Albania as a crucial buffer against Ottoman expansion. Skanderbeg's resistance fostered a legacy of national pride and resilience, which continues to influence Albanian cultural identity and history. His era stands as a testament to the capacity for unity and defiance against overwhelming odds, resonating with broader themes of resistance and independence in world history. The background and rise of Skanderbeg refers to the early life and emergence of Gjergj Kastrioti, known as Skanderbeg, as a national hero and military leader in the 15th century Ottoman Empire, specifically within the region now known as Albania. This concept is pivotal to understanding the Ottoman Wars in Albania, as it marks the beginning of a sustained resistance against the Ottoman expansion. Skanderbeg, a member of the influential Kastrioti family, was taken as a child hostage by the Ottomans and converted to Islam. He rose through the Ottoman ranks, but in a dramatic turn of allegiance, returned to his homeland to lead a rebellion against the empire, symbolizing the struggle for Albanian autonomy and identity. The significance of Skanderbeg's rise lies in his unification of various Albanian tribes against a formidable Ottoman force, showcasing his strategic brilliance and enduring legacy as a symbol of resistance. His leadership injected a sense of unity and national pride among Albanians, disrupting Ottoman efforts to solidify control in the region for over 2 decades. One noteworthy example of Skanderbeg's impact is the 1444 founding of the League of Legion, an alliance of Albanian noble families that coordinated their military efforts against the Ottomans. Another is the successful defense of Krujë Castle, where Skanderbeg famously repelled multiple Ottoman sieges, a testament to his tactical ingenuity and the resilience of his forces. Skanderbeg is often celebrated not only in Albania, but also by various European powers of the time, who viewed him as a bulwark against the Ottoman tide. His exploits have been praised by historians and even immortalized in literature and folklore, highlighting his role in medieval European defense. However, his legacy is not without challenges or controversies. Some critics argue that Skanderbeg's resistance, though heroic, ultimately lacked sufficient support to change the broader course of Ottoman dominance in the Balkans. Others downplay his role due to differing national narratives among Balkan states. Moreover, his initial service under the Ottomans complicates his image as a pure nationalist. Skanderbeg's rise connects to broader themes of identity, resistance, and cultural survival within the Ottoman Wars. His leadership not only influenced contemporary military strategies against the Ottomans, but also left a lasting impression on national consciousness that continues to shape Albanian identity and history today. By examining Skanderbeg's background and rise, one gains deeper insight into the complexities and enduring spirit of Albanian resistance during a turbulent era. Albania's long resistance under Skanderbeg is a pivotal chapter in the history of the Ottoman Wars, symbolizing the determination and resilience of a small nation against a vast empire. Skanderbeg, born as Gjergj Kastrioti, was an Albanian nobleman and military commander who led the resistance against the Ottoman Empire in the mid-15th century. This era is characterized by a series of battles and strategic defenses led by Skanderbeg that successfully thwarted the expansion of the Ottomans into the Albanian territories for over 2 decades. The significance of Skanderbeg's resistance is immense in both historical and cultural contexts. Militarily, his guerrilla tactics and defensive strategies repeatedly outmaneuvered the more considerable Ottoman forces, highlighting his exceptional leadership skills and military acumen. Culturally, this resistance became a symbol of national identity and pride for Albanians, and Skanderbeg was venerated as a national hero whose legacy galvanized future generations in their pursuit of independence. A key example of Skanderbeg's success is the Battle of Torvioll in 1444, where his forces decisively defeated a larger Ottoman army, setting a precedent for his tactical brilliance. Another significant confrontation was the Siege of Krujë, where Skanderbeg and his forces withstood multiple attempts by the Ottomans to capture the city, thereby fortifying the morale and resolve of the Albanian people. Supporters of Skanderbeg argue that his resistance delayed Ottoman advances into Western Europe, providing crucial time for European states to prepare for eventual conflicts with the empire. However, some historians suggest that despite his valor, Skanderbeg's resistance was ultimately a defensive effort with limited long-term political gains, as Albania eventually fell under Ottoman control after his death. There are challenges and alternative viewpoints when examining this period. While Skanderbeg is celebrated in Albanian culture, some historians critique his romanticized portrayal, suggesting that internal divisions among Albanian nobility often complicated the resistance. Moreover, differing perspectives may question the effectiveness of a resistance that, while symbolically profound, was temporally limited. Skanderbeg's resistance underpins other aspects of the Ottoman Wars by illustrating the complexities of regional resistance against imperial expansion. His efforts influenced European perceptions of the Ottoman threat and underscored the importance of unity and strategic leadership amidst overwhelming odds. This era remains a testament to the enduring spirit of a nation determined to preserve its sovereignty and cultural identity against a formidable adversary.